Hi there team, Coach Alexa here. So I've got lots of my runners in various stages of tapering or about to taper for spring marathons. I've done a few videos before, if you look through my back catalogue on YouTube, about the physical tapers. This is where your training drops back gradually before race day, so that you're fully physically recovered and adapted to all the training that you're doing, so full of beans and in a really good kind of physical state as you rock up at the race start on race day morning. The other aspect though to the taper is kind of a mental taper. So there was a study done a few years back now, comparing this traditional physical taper with what they called a mental taper. So, reducing stress levels and the amount of thinking the brain had to do, increasing the amount of rest time, downtime, mental downtime. And the physical taper alone compared as well as a mental taper alone. So if you just mentally tapered and didn't physically taper, it had exactly the same results as if you just physically tapered without the mental taper, which is what quite a few of us do. Obviously, if you do both together, you get even more of a positive effect on your race day performance. So what does a mental taper actually look like, feel like, involve? It involves, from the study, it involves avoiding stressful, overwhelming situations. It involves trying to avoid situations where you're having to think really hard, problem solve, etc., like really working your brain hard. And it involves increasing the amount of relaxing activities and downtime, kind of chill out time that you have. Sleep also helps, but that's another whole other thing that I've talked about before and we'll probably keep talking about in future. So in practice, that might mean, if you have enough control over your job, kind of avoiding the sort of high stress, high problem solving situations from a work perspective. Ideally, and I know all of this is a lot easier said than done, from a personal point of view as well. So that might mean clearing out the social diary a little bit. It might mean planning activities with friends and family that are much more chilled. So thinking, instead of going out into a town centre for dinner and drinks in a noisy environment on a Friday night, it might mean going to the cinema or something like that instead. More evenings in, talking to those friends that are kind of a calming and relaxing disposition, as opposed to those who kind of get you really energised or overexcited about stuff. It might involve taking a day or half day off work in maybe in the week in the run up to your event. So thinking about what that means for you, because what is a relaxing downtime activity is different for everybody, and just scheduling a few more of those in. And if you've got some more time on your hands, which you probably do in the taper as your training distance and duration drops back, maybe just allocate some of that run time to just go and sitting outside in your garden or in a park or open space nearby and just chilling out and watching the world go by and listening to the bird song, for example. So yeah, think about what that kind of mental taper might look like and feel like for you. Now, why is this beneficial? So, if you've been doing training for an endurance event, you'll probably have found out the fact that there's a big physical component, of course, but there's also a big mental component. Endurance sports like longer distance running, half marathon, marathon, ultras, a lot of the game is in the head. So, we get to a point where our body is tired, we still need to keep going. And if our brain is in a good space, if our brain is feeling kind of relaxed and energized and not too tired and in a good space, then our brain will be able to keep us motivated, keep us positive, keep us going, allow us to push on or maintain our pace towards the end of a race in a way that it wouldn't be able to if you're going into it with the brain really kind of tired, overworked, not rested enough. So it really helps unlock two key things, I think, on longer races, particularly towards the end of longer races. It unlocks enjoyment because our brain is less likely to go down those kind of rabbit holes of negativity and, I think we should walk or slow down, or this is going really badly, or blah, 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 all that negative self-talk that can start creeping in. And also, if our brain is in a good space, it's more likely to let us keep going, maintain our pace, or maybe even speed up a little bit at the end. So it really is quite influential in terms of our overall, kind of performance over those longer distances. So well worth thinking and planning your mental taper if you're tapering to a longer race anytime soon. Hope that's useful.